What is up, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a fantastic day so far. New setup, by the way. New camera angle. Microphone's not on the boom arm anymore, so that's pretty cool. I can hold it. I'm not gonna lie, I feel more important by holding the microphone. Yes, I'm actually a talk show host to some extent. Anyways, for today's video, I want to do something a little bit different. I want to talk to you about a film called Halloween Ends. You've heard of Halloween, you've heard of Michael Myers. Who hasn't? Classic 1978 slasher film. Spawned a shitload of other movies. The vast majority of them are not even canon anymore. How many Halloween movies are there? Since the release of the original 1978 Halloween, there have been 9 movies afterwards in the franchise. Like Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, Curse of the Witch. I don't know what it is. I wasn't even born yet. That film came out in 1982 and they were clickbaiting everyone's ass because Michael Myers wasn't even in the movie. And then you have like the Curse of Michael Myers where he's in like a cult or some shit and then he has like he's adopting a baby or some shit. Anyways, but none of those matter. Take all of them, throw them in the trash. They're garbage. The only films that matter are Halloween 1978 and Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends. And those are the only 4 films that matter. That tells the whole story from start to finish. Now, I know those other 9 movies aren't the greatest, but goddamn, Halloween Ends is the biggest pile of shit I've ever seen in my entire life. It's 2022. I saw Halloween Ends in theaters. I'm sitting down in my chair, got my big old tub of popcorn, probably nachos, maybe even a Diet Coke, because I'm trying to watch the hips a little bit. And I thought I bought a ticket to a slasher film, but instead it was a porn, because it was Michael Myers just getting the entire movie. The entire thing, like raw, by everybody. Halloween Ends takes place 1 year after the events of Halloween Kills. If you don't remember Halloween 2018 or Halloween Kills, essentially what happens is Michael Myers escapes from the asylum that he was in for the last 50 years. Laurie Strode is ultimately prepared for that, so she moves out into the sticks and creates this doomsday house with a whole bunch of barbed wire and security cameras and booby traps, and she's got a bunch of guns. She's awaiting the return of Michael Myers, which ultimately he does go back to finish the deed. At the end of Halloween 2018, he ends up getting locked into a basement and they catch a house on fire. He should be dead. Michael Myers is done. The film could have ended there. We locked him away, we caught him on fire, he's toast. But as we saw in the original film, Michael Myers cannot die that easily. Or can he? Halloween Kills picks up right where we left off on the same exact night where Laurie and her daughter and her granddaughter do escape, and being that the house is on fire, Michael Myers is freed by some firefighters, obviously trying to do their best to put out the blaze. I'll give credit where credit is due. The firefighter scene in Halloween Kills. Swing. After Myers has pretty much killed everyone in close proximity, he heads back to the town of Haddonfield to finally finish off Laurie Strode, but he cannot find her because she's in a hospital bed for the entire duration of the film. Because Michael Myers can't find Laurie Strode in a hospital, should take notes from Halloween 2, no problem there. He has a brief run-in with Laurie's granddaughter Allison, who plays a really big role in Halloween Kills because Laurie Strode's in a f***ing hospital bed the entire time. The entire town of Haddonfield comes together to finally put a stop to evil, and evil must die tonight. So the entire town just beats the shit out of Michael Myers. He gets stabbed, shot, beat with shovels and 2x4s. Like, he is getting bodied. He's getting absolutely dunked on. Now, this is what I found to be really interesting. In the original Halloween, they do allude that Michael Myers is like the embodiment of evil. He's just evil, and that's what he is. He's not a mortal man. But in Halloween Kills, Laurie Strode pretty much says you can't beat him by brute force. The more he kills, the more powerful he becomes. So now we finally, as the viewer, as a watcher of the franchise, we now understand that Michael Myers is not a mortal man. He's just pure evil. After getting completely nuked, he doesn't die. He gets up and kills everyone that jumped him. Everybody. After the fight is over, Laurie Strode's daughter decides to go up into the original Myers house and look out the same window that Michael did many moons ago. She has a brief moment of horniness for some whatever reason, and then guess what? Michael Myers is there and kills her. She is dead. And that's when the movie ends. It's it. Now that we're all caught up, now we can talk about Halloween Ends. So it is Halloween night 2019, 1 year after all the shit I just talked to you about, and we are introduced to a new character named Corey. Haven't seen him in any of the other films, by the way. He is a brand new character for this film specifically. Corey's kind of a nerd, rides his bike around, he's 21 years old. He's there babysitting this kid named Jeremy for these 2 parents that want to go party on Halloween. I get it. I get it. Right before the family leaves, the mom pulls Corey to the side and says, just so you know, Jeremy, he says he hears voices and he's been wetting the bed a lot. Just pissing everywhere. I don't know how old Jeremy is, but he looks like a young lad who doesn't have nightmares from time to time. I know that I do about this fucking movie. So the kid's scared of Michael Myers. He's scared of all the things that have happened in the town. He's heard about it.
Michael Myers kills babysitters, not kids. Which
is interesting because it lets everybody know that the entire town, this made headlines. Michael Myers is somehow still at large. He's out there. So the kid's scared. So what does Corey do as soon as the parents leave? They put on a scary movie. Makes perfect sense. Corey gets absolutely owned by Jeremy.
And I don't really feel like pretending to be best friends with an ugly ass boy babysitter.
And then heads off to the kitchen to get himself some milk. While in the kitchen, Corey sees a knife next to what seems to be a loaf of bread. Then suddenly hears a loud thud and instantly starts panicking about where Jeremy is. Corey goes back into the house, Jeremy's gone, the front door is open, potentially there's an intruder inside. He then hears Jeremy screaming at the top of the house. By the way, this house is huge, a mansion, big Haddonfield dollars. He goes back to the kitchen and the knife is gone. Very scary stuff. Jeremy's up in the attic screaming like crazy. He runs up the stairs and he finds the knife sitting at the top of the stairs, alluding that Michael Myers is in the house. He's not. It all comes down to Jeremy just playing a little prank on, on our boy Corey here. Jeremy locks him in the attic and then Corey goes into a complete meltdown. Instantly starts panicking about being locked away. That could be some character development. Maybe that happened when he was younger. Nobody knows. We don't know because the film doesn't ever tell us about it. Corey then starts kicking the attic door and out of his rage kicks the door hard enough to knock Jeremy accidentally over the banister, falling all the way to his death. You know who doesn't kill kids? Michael Myers. So at this time in the movie, we're wondering, okay, well, like, what does this have to do with what previously happened the year before? It makes the mind wonder. It's a decent setup. I'll give the film that. It's a decent setup to this character. Unfortunately, it's all downhill from here. We then fast forward 4 years later, where we're met with Laurie Strode, and guess what? She's not in a hospital bed anymore. Thank God. Laurie then does a recap dump, pretty similar to what I did earlier in this video. Michael Myers killed a whole bunch of people, killed her daughter. Her daughter's dead. Michael killed her, and then he just vanishes. He's gone. And here's one of the first things that upsets me the most. Laurie Strode in the previous films went from this ultimate badass where she was ready for anything, prepared to protect her family at all costs, and then Michael Myers gets out, kills a whole bunch of people, her daughter included, and then says that she now refuses to live the rest of her life in fear. Now, I understand that's no way to live the rest of your life, being scared all the time, but the guy's still out there. He's still, you know that what he can do. Like, if we only have the original Halloween as a reference point, Michael Myers killed all of Laurie's friends. He gets locked up because the other films are canon. Remember, that's important. She spends the next 40, 50 years of her life preparing for him to inevitably come out of the asylum. She goes into super badass doomsday mode. He does eventually get out, kills a bunch of people in the town, her daughter included, which I think is way more personal than a couple of your high school friends. And then now, all of a sudden, 5 years later, now she wants to take her foot off the gas, and he's still out there. It's not like he's been gone for 20 years. This was like 5 years ago from all this shit going down. We then transition back to Corey. Remember him from the beginning? Killed the kid. Remember that guy? Yeah. Trying to move on with the rest of his life. He has a job at it looks like a junkyard, like a mechanic, like a repair shop. Oh, and look at the mechanic jumpsuit he's wearing. That looks kind of familiar, doesn't it? We then segue into Myers' new home, a fucking sewer. After a brief glimpse of where we think Myers is hiding, we're back to Corey, where he's at a convenience store, getting hassled by the clerk there.
You gonna buy something or what?
Giving off the impression that the entire town hates him. And then we're introduced to the most non-realistic fucking bully squad I've ever seen in my entire life. Band nerds. That's a new one. Goddamn film could have just stayed with the trope of a standard high school bully, a jock. They're all on the football team or some shit, but this is new for me. High school band nerds. You got this skinny little kid that's kind of like the ringleader. Then you got this ginger mullet, having ass motherfucker. I don't even know what this is. And then you got these two other girls that seem like they don't even want to be there. And they ask Corey to buy some beer. Corey respectfully says no. Then they start dishing out the blows, talking about the kid that he killed. And they get into a little fight. A high school band kid then pushes Corey, a grown man, onto the ground where he ends up cutting his hand open on some broken glass. But guess who's pumping gas nearby? Aha, Laurie Strode. She's been through some shit.
I'm like the Crypt Keeper!
This is the first time in the film where we have all of the characters finally intertwining to somehow make sense of what's going on at the beginning of this movie. Laurie then tells Corey that her granddaughter Allison works at like urgent care and she'll take him over there to get his hand fixed. When Corey and Allison meet at the urgent care, by God, my cringeometer is peaking. Like, holy shit, can Allison be any more horny?
I got a motorcycle.
Oh, a motorcycle. Teach me to ride it?
Yeah?
Yeah, you can have the bicycle. I have a motorcycle now. Oh, you have a motorcycle? Teach me to ride it? After a few minutes of some back and forth, Corey gets asked out by Allison, like right off the bat, and then says no.
With both of us. I mean, we both have to be there, otherwise it wouldn't be very...
I'm gonna be late for dinner.
Like, what the f? He said no? So after Allison being incredibly forward and incredibly unrealistic, we're back to Laurie Strode at a grocery store where she bumps into Frank. Remember Frank from Halloween Kills, where he got stabbed by Michael Myers and then said this?
He needs to die. And I'm the one that's gonna get him.
No, you're not, Frank. You didn't do shit. That's the thing I'm talking about this movie. There's all this setup and zero payoff. Back to Corey and Allison. By the way, that's going to be an ongoing theme for this movie. It seems that Corey was just giving Allison blue balls because he does want to hang out, in fact. Corey's finally breaking out of his shell. Looks like he's been kind of a homebody, a loner, a rebel. And he finally meets someone to get back out there. Good for Corey. So they go to the Halloween party. Of course, Allison is still incredibly horny. But then Corey bumps into Jeremy's mom, the mother of the kid that he killed 4 years ago. And it seems like the mother's definitely went off the deep end. Who wouldn't with a traumatic event like that? And she's still very, very fucking mad at Corey for killing her son. Corey, in obvious distress, decides that maybe it was too soon to leave the nest and decides to run off and bail on Allison. Oh, by the way, we're about 40 minutes into this film. We've seen Myers 0 times. But oh shit, the bully band squad is back. Of course, the high school kids are still pissed off at Corey because he didn't buy him the 12-pack of White Claws that they requested. So once again, Corey starts getting his ass kicked by high schoolers and then draws a knife, telling them to get back, but is instantly disarmed by the ginger mullet kid. Remember this for later. And one thing leads to another. White Claws are a luxury in this town, and they throw Corey off a bridge, rendering him unconscious. But oh my god, halfway through the runtime, we finally get to see, sort of, Michael Myers. Corey is then dragged into Michael Myers' sewer dungeon and doesn't kill him immediately for reasons I don't understand. Many, many moments later, Corey finally regains consciousness and awakes to find himself in the most Pennywise-looking sewer of all time. Wondering where the hell he is? Confused? Scared? Maybe cold? He's then confronted by Michael Myers. Michael then grabs him through this crevice in the wall. I don't know why he wasn't just in the room with him when he woke up. I guess he was off just picking like sewer berries or something. Instead of killing Corey instantly, Myers looks into his eyes and sees that he's killed a kid. He gets bullied by band nerds with mullets and decides, you know what, this guy's been through some hardship. I'm gonna cut him some slack. And then fucking lets him go. Now, keep in mind, Corey has met Laurie Strode. Corey also has met Allison. Now, I can understand if during this flashback segment of the movie that Myers was able to see that Corey has met Laurie Strode or knows where her whereabouts are or whatever the case may be, or that they have some type of personal ties with each other. I could understand that. But in the flashback, all we see is him accidentally killing somebody, accidentally, by the way, and him getting bullied. And Myers is like, you know what, bro? You're good. You're good in my book. What? Corey then emerges from the tunnel. Also, it's daytime. I guess Corey just slept over at Myers' sewer house for hours. I'm assuming when he left the bar, it was like probably like midnight-ish, and now it's morning time, so he's been knocked out for 6, 7, 8 hours, and Myers did not kill him at all. On his way out, Corey is then confronted by a homeless man who asks the million-dollar question, wait, why did he let you live?
You take people in there now and then. Why'd he let you live?
Pretty much stating that Michael Myers from time to time brings people back there and kills them, so why did he let Corey live? Brilliant question, homeless man. Brilliant question. He then tells him to get his ass back inside and get the mask because the homeless man is Michael Myers. The guy then pulls a knife on Corey, and in self-defense, Corey ends up stabbing him. Corey has accidentally killed somebody and then killed another person in self-defense. That doesn't necessarily make him out to be this evil guy. And it's not like when he stands over the body after he killed the homeless guy that he's just like, wow, I actually like this power a whole lot. I feel good after doing that kind of stuff. Nothing happens. He just tucks the guy in the tent and goes to Allison's house. Fast forward to later in the day, Laurie's in her house and she hears Corey's motorcycle outside, and we get this scene. So the entire time, the movie is trying to slowly replace Michael Myers with Corey. That's what it seems like. Like now he's just this super evil dude. And don't give me this shit that like Michael Myers rubbed off on Corey, or Laurie's got like this weird vibe about Corey. She senses something evil about him, similar to how she felt when she was around Michael himself. Corey goes up to Allison and is like, hey, I really gotta talk to you. Just take a walk with me. Obviously, you care about this person. You know about Laurie Strode, and you know about Michael Myers. You just fucking met Michael Myers. You're not gonna tell her, hey, I met this guy, he exists. He's in the sewer, like a mile down the road. Next scene, literal next scene. Corey drops right off the bat, I killed someone last night. Allison's still at DEFCON horny. She's like, okay. Listen, I know it's like so the movie can happen, but like you can't add some realistic dialogue. You killed somebody? What? What happened? Explain yourself. I'm assuming that happens off camera because they proceed to go on a date. If I was on a date with someone and they told me they killed somebody earlier that day, I'm not going to be at fucking Denny's getting grand slams. Corey then takes Allison to the original family's house from the beginning of the movie where the child died to like tell Allison more about what had happened, I guess. But like, did the family just pack up and leave as soon as the kid died? Like instantly? Like I understand like leaving a house and leaving traumatic stuff behind, but they didn't even clean up the blood? It's still there? Really? After breaking and entering, Corey and Allison go to a diner in town. And this is where Corey asks a fantastic question. Why not just leave Haddonfield? Now, I get it. I know that it's not easy sometimes to financially just up and pack up and leave. Allison then claims the reason as to why she stays because all of her memories are here. You know who else is here? Michael Myers. In a sewer. Nearby. Killed your fucking mom. Leave. There's also like this really creepy, gross cop guy that like aggressively hits on Allison throughout the movie. I didn't really mention him in the beginning because I didn't think the scene was important. The cop then comes over to Allison's table because, of course, he's at the diner as well, too. But this time, Corey is there. Corey gets really, really fucking mad that he's hitting on his girl. Corey's a changed man, dude. He doesn't have his glasses on anymore. Corey then drops off Allison and then heads back to the sewer to go see old Uncle Myers. But guess who's following him? Creepy fat cop weird guy. They get into a little scuffle outside, and then Corey runs into the sewer, and the cop is like, ooh, I have to follow him. I get the idea that Corey is trying to lead the cop in, like, as an offering to Myers, but, like, why does he just kill them both? If Michael Myers feeds off of killing people and becomes more powerful, why does he just kill them both? If Corey is evil, like the movie is trying to portray him as, wouldn't you just absorb his powers? A little bit? It's like double XP. So they both tag team the police officer in the sewer. That sounded so bad. But Myers is old and fragile and old. Old balls. He's tired, man. Corey then holds down the police officer and lets Michael kill him. And for the first time in the franchise, we get to see Michael actually be rejuvenated from a weak little old man into the strong, powerful, evil killing machine that he is. Didn't the homeless guy say he brings people in there all the time? So, like, does he have to just kill cops? Or, like, can he just kill a body? Or can he just kill a person like every other week? Like how a snake only eats once like every couple weeks? It doesn't make sense. There's no formula. The movie doesn't tell you exactly how it works. And if he needed to kill to stay alive, why the f didn't he just kill Corey? I will die on that hill. I don't get it. Another thing that briefly happens in the movie that I didn't really think was worth mentioning, just like the cop from earlier, is Allison's boss and co-worker are in a relationship. He's obviously much older than she is, and she's this younger, in her 20s chick. I don't know what it is. She got a promotion. I can only assume why. But anyways, they're coming back from a date, and this guy lives in a very fancy house, but guess who is also there? Corey. Then the movie goes into this weird, like, Batman and Robin shit, where, like, Myers is also there, and he's kind of taking Corey under his wing as his Padawan learner, and they just tag team and kill people together. We still don't understand why. Like, this is what I don't get about the movie is why is Corey worthy of staying alive? Why? He's done nothing. Michael and Corey then kill both people at the house, and they recreate an iconic scene from the 1978 Halloween film. Michael stabs his victim with a butcher knife and then has the head tilt, one of those. Definitely dishing out the credits to the originals. So like I mentioned, the movie is telling us that Corey is Michael's, like, apprentice and evil. But then after the scene, directly after the scene, it cuts back to Corey and Allison's romance. It's like the romance between Allison and Corey is the primary plot, and Myers just has to take a back seat in his own movie. Like, there has been 3 canon films leading up to Halloween Ends, which is supposed to be the finale and seals the entire story together, and we're wasting runtime on this Allison Corey stuff. That's one of the things that pissed me off the most. Surely if the movie is devoting this much time to this couple, there's obviously a reason for it. Throughout the entire movie, we don't really know much of Corey's backstory. There's one thing that is glaringly obvious. His mom is incredibly possessive, does not like him talking to girls whatsoever. Corey's been staying out late, he's not wearing his glasses. His mom gets, like, super pissed off about it and slaps him in the face and then does this? Oh! Well, it's the next day, and guess what day it is? Halloween. The movie can finally happen. We open with Corey sleeping in the abandoned dead kid's house, like sleeping next to his dried blood. That's not weird. But guess who's there? Laurie Strode. How she knows he was there? I don't know. Also, the movie, like, alludes that maybe he's having a hallucination, but pretty much Laurie ain't having none of this dating Allison shit and tells him that Corey cannot see her anymore. Corey then claims that if he can't have her, no one can. Now, here's something that's really interesting that I thought in the previous films. The whole time, these last 3 movies are building up Allison to kind of be like the new final girl, right? That would finally answer all the questions that we had. Allison's got a shit ton of screen time over the last 3 films. Laurie's very, very old. Myers is f***ing old as dirt. Corey's like this new, young, up-and-coming serial killer. It would make sense that's the direction that the franchise is going. You want to get asses in seats? You want to keep these films going? I can't be the only one that thought that. The next scene that happens in this movie is the one that pisses me off the most. For some reason, Corey wants to be the new badass in town, but he needs Michael Myers' mask first. He goes all the way back to the sewer and then beats up Michael Myers. Remember, this is the same guy that just got his ass kicked by a bunch of band mullets. And listen, movie, you can't give me the shit saying that Michael's old and tired. Nah, he just killed a whole bunch of people. He's max power, baby. Michael Myers hasn't lost to literally anybody in the franchise. He got beat up by an entire town. And Skinny Dick Corey's able to take him out like that? No way. Shortly after the most disrespectful scene in the entire film's history, Corey meets back up with the bully squad, but this time he gets revenge. He, like, keyed their car. I don't know, he said, like, poop ass or something. I don't know what it is. Anyways, they decided to follow him back to the junkyard where Corey works. And in typical horror movie fashion, the killer is an absolute ninja, being able to lock doors and sneak around all of them undetected. Corey then cosplays as Michael Myers and finally gets revenge and kills all 4 of the band bullies. He wants to be Michael Myers so bad. Like, the cosplay is max. Like, you got the actual mask? That would probably win every cosplay competition ever. He then kills a DJ and the DJ's assistant. I get, like, a random killing spree or like getting back at people that have wronged you. But then he goes to Laurie's house to, like, finish Michael's job? Why? Did like Michael and Corey, while they had all this downtime hanging out in his sewer, talk about like the things that they wish they wanted most in life? While Corey is sneaking into the house to kill Lori, Lori sets up the greatest bait of all time. She gives off the perception to the intruder in her house that she's going to unalive herself. But when Corey opens the door, she pumps 2 shots into him. So Corey's not immortal. He's obviously dying. In like a last weird ditch effort to like frame Lori and like ruin that relationship between Lori and Allison, he like stabs himself in his own neck to like frame Lori like as if she killed him. And it kind of works. So Allison comes home to see Lori standing over Corey's dying body. Allison instantly sees all of her horniness fly out the window and leaves. But arrives a new challenger, Michael Myers. And what's the first thing that Michael does when he gets into Lori's house is snap Corey's neck. 90 minutes of character development and all this wasted fucking time on this weird bullshit romance story, and Michael just kills him instantly. It was all for nothing. Like, I don't understand, movie. Why spend so much time? You know how much cool shit that you could have done in between those segments? Showing how Michael is slowly climbing his way back to full strength. Instead, we get to watch like this Corey bullshit. He doesn't even get laid. He's just dead. However, finally, we're moving on to the main event. Laurie Strode versus Michael Myers. The showdown we've all been waiting for. Literally. I'm not gonna lie, Michael Myers kicks Laurie's ass pretty hardcore in the first half of this fight. But Laurie lands some sweet moves and pins Michael Myers to the counter with knives. Laurie then removes Michael's mask, which if I'm not mistaken is the first time that she actually gets a look at his face since the original film. Us as the viewer, we don't get a full glimpse of him, but in Halloween Kills, we kind of got to see what he looks like a little bit. He's like this, he's just old beat dude. He's just old as Allison then comes back after she realizes that horniness is not worth getting mad over her only living grandmother and holds down Michael's arm, and Laurie slits his wrist. And that's it. 40-ish years of filmage and 4 movies later, Michael Myers finally dies to Laurie Strode with a knife cut. So now for following the rules that the movie has laid out for us, Michael Myers is not a normal man. He is evil, and he recharges his evil meter by killing people. So far, he's killed a bunch of people and just recently killed Corey, which we all know is triple XP. So with that said, he shouldn't be dead unless Laurie Strode is the only living person that can actually eliminate Michael Myers. But like she trapped him in like the fire booby trap at her old house and Halloween Kills, and he didn't die then. And this is probably the thing that irks me the most about this entire franchise. Throughout all 4 films, Michael Myers is the embodiment of evil. He is immortal. Essentially, because if he isn't immortal, then every single event that has happened to this man would kill him 10 times over. Like he got shot by Dr. Loomis in Halloween 1978. He got whooped on by the entire town. I'm not like a doctor. I'm pretty sure you would die. However, it is true, Michael Myers is officially dead. But we can't take any chances. So the whole town gets together and takes Michael Myers back to the junkyard where they have this massive meat car grinder thing. And as a pretty awesome farewell from the town, they let Michael Myers crowd surf one last time. And that's it. That is Halloween Ends. Now, if you like this movie, that's completely fine. There's probably movies that I like that people don't like. But from the moment I left the theater till now, after rewatching it recently, it is true. I think that Halloween Ends is a terrible send-off for such an iconic franchise like Halloween. Do you know how I personally thought that it was going to end? I thought we were going to have some epic Laurie Strode, Michael Myers showdown, which we kind of did, and that Laurie Strode was either going to die and was setting up Allison to be the new Laurie Strode, the new final girl, right? Or I thought they were both going to die, like Laurie Strode was going to sacrifice herself and, or like, I don't know, like slide tackle Michael Myers into like off a mountain into like a volcano or some shit, I don't know, so that they both went out with a bang, because essentially both their entire lives they were born for each other. But however, watching the movie throughout the entire duration of the film, it was setting up Corey to be a new Michael Myers and Allison be a new Laurie Strode. And obviously we saw how that ended. But my friends, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know down in the comments what you think about some of my takes regarding this film. Obviously, good or bad, I love to hear them both. And also, if you like the commentary videos, make sure to drop a like and let me know if you want to see more of them. And I'll catch you all on the next one.